Hello and welcome to Let's Talk About Final Fantasy VII Remake. In this video we'll be discussing the remake in a new light. Instead of praising it to death, we will do that, but we will also be talking about some of the major issues that lie in the game that nobody seems to be discussing. Now, this isn't a hate video on the game. I still really like the game. Unfortunately, it still does have a variety of issues that need discussing to hopefully improve upon in the next part of the story. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into this not review. That was cringe. I won't do that again, I'm sorry. Now let's talk about the story, because there is a lot to unpack here. The story is obviously going to be based on the original from 1997. The issue is it's cut. Like a lot. Like it's just the Midgar section. The first 5 hours of the original. Now, when you're going to cut the game to be just a certain portion of the original, you're obviously going to have to make some sacrifices. And unfortunately, I do think the game suffers in this way, as the portions they added just don't stack up and just come off as pandering for the whole game. Where I feel this truly suffers is in the old sections, as you can tell they're just being really stretched out. The tunnel, like the subway section, I just felt it lasted so long. It was like 2 hours long. That was like 5 seconds in the original. It just feels way too long for its own good. And I don't feel like this was really necessary. But even in saying that, they had to do this. If they wanted to make the Midgar portion 30 hours, they're gonna have to pander a lot of the areas from the original. Speaking of pandering, a lot of the new areas don't feel as refined and polished as the old areas remade. Now, what I find funny is that it took me less time to complete the original than it took me to beat the remake, which really begs the question, how much more content did they add to make the story longer than the original? Now, unfortunately, the content that they added was more like the content that they stretched out, so the game doesn't seem short and yet is long. It more feels really long and yet isn't as long as it feels. Now, what I mean by that is that the game just panders constantly. Every area just has to be 2-3 hours long, and in the original they were only about 5 minutes. So you can imagine when you play the original and you go to the remake, it feels like they're just trying to make every little section as long as humanly possible, which I feel like the game suffers because of this. But even so, the story remains really, really, really good, as it was just taken from the original. It has so many great moments and scenes, and when you played the original and then you go to the remake, it's a whole new experience. In saying that, some of the new story elements were very strange, and you start to question why Square would put some of these things in, especially those Dementors, who seem to be just there to make sure the story remains true from the original, which is fine, but I feel like it just boils down to a bit of laziness from the developers, if you ask me. Now, I'm not going to talk about the end but all I'm saying is that it's weird and confusing and might leave a sour taste in your mouth if you have played the original. Now let's talk about the battle system, because, whoo, yeah, that's a good battle system. This is where I feel the game shines its brightest. It is its best when you're battling enemies. Holy, it is so good. It is so entertaining. It feels like you're in a movie. Everything just flows well. Everything works. It is so good. I am not joking when I say this is one of the best battle systems in Final Fantasy. In fact, maybe in any game that I've played. It's sort of a mix between 15's battle style and Kingdom Hearts, but I feel like it's definitely leaning towards Kingdom Hearts. But that's not a bad thing because it works wonderfully. However, it is not perfect. There is a lot of faults with it still. Flying enemies are a big issue. True, you can get Barret to gun them down, but when they're the only enemy and you're playing Cloud, it is one of the most frustrating things you will ever do. Holy shit. It gets to a point where it's literally just frustrating and you're just like, can this just be over? Because I'm sick of fighting these enemies with fucking Cloud's Buster Sword that, despite its massive size, it's not big enough to fight these flying enemies. Despite this, characters have their own unique abilities and the materia system works wonderfully to complement the battle system throughout this game. I reckon they nailed this right on the head. The battle system is a definite plus in this game. I don't think I really have any major complaints. It's just, sometimes it can be a little annoying and the camera can get stuck. But to be honest, this is a big plus for the game and I feel like it's executed wonderfully. It's not perfect, but I'll be damned if it isn't pretty damn close. Oh, just in addition to, the game's difficulty is actually quite difficult. I played it on normal mode. I had a bit of trouble, especially some of the normal enemies, but to be honest with you, oh my god, some of the enemies frustrate the hell out of me. This whack-a-mole game you play with these robots, it's so frustrating. Forgot to mention that, but anyway, other than that, it was really good. It's a good battle. Now let's talk about the music in this game. Oh my god, the music is so good. Holy shit. Like, actually, holy shit. This has got to be one of the best, if not the best soundtrack I've ever listened to. It is so good. It's so good. And the funny thing is, in the original, the sound wasn't amazing. I mean, it had good tracks and the compositions were very good, but I feel like it didn't actually come out very well. It just didn't sound great. I'm going to be honest with you, the original didn't sound great. Reorchestrated, it sounded amazing, but in the original, it didn't sound amazing. But these tracks have all been reorchestrated, completely composed again almost. The king has returned, Nobu Uematsu, to recompose every single track. Every single track has a battle track to complement it, so it's not all just the one battle track, which I was pretty concerned with, that it would be the one. That is my favorite battle track, like ever, but still, I wouldn't want to hear it every single fight. It does pop up a lot, but they've remade it like 5 separate times in this game, and honestly, I'm not complaining. It sounds amazing every single time. Look, I'll give you some examples of some of my favorite tracks in this game, because it's just so good. Here you go. Seriously, in this department, I literally have no complaints. Every single track I love. I literally got the entire soundtrack and downloaded it, put it on my phone, and I listen to it all the time. It is so good. No complaints with music, honestly. It's just amazing. It is amazing. 10 out of 10. Amazing. Just a quick little section on the graphics, because I played it on the original PS4, so I'm not, playing it 4K, looking sharp, playing well. It was just on the original, and it still looked amazing. I play on PC, and even I was looking at things like, wow, this looks amazing. This looks great. The character models are amazing. The environments are amazing. The textures can be texturous, for lack of a better word, but for the most part it looks amazing, and that is just a good thing to see. They really put the time, they really put the effort to make the game look as good as possible for anybody. If you have the normal PS4, if you have the Pro, it looks amazing, and it's great to see some of the classic scenes in HD. It's great. It is great. Honestly, they nailed it. They really nailed it. It looks great. And there's some cutscenes. I mean, the whole game looks like a cutscene, but there are some individual cutscenes that look even better. So, I don't know how you did it, Square, but you really made it look amazing. Can't wait to see it on PC, though. On PC. That'll be something for sure. Okay, let's talk about the issues, because this is the main reason I wanted to make this video. I don't hear anybody talking about the issues, and these issues seriously plague the experience. I've been praising this game, sucking its dick for the past however long, but seriously, some of these issues are so frustrating and so annoying. I've barely touched on it. I'm serious. These issues are so fucking annoying. At least for me, personally, this whole game started to get really annoying to play because of these issues. One of the main issues is some of the things they put in the sections to pander it out. This claw section was probably the most boring piece of shit section I'd ever played in my life. It's so long. I will play a clip right now of it and show you what I mean. How slow and boring it can be.
Gotcha.
Seriously, Aerith takes forever to do anything. She's so fucking annoying. Climbing anything takes forever. Holding onto bars when you're doing a monkey bar type thing takes forever. You have to turn the character individually, turn him and then turn back and then go forward. It is so annoying. Why was this not fixed? Obviously, to pander out the game. Just why does it take so long? Why does everything have to take so long? Holy shit, every single thing needs to take longer than it needs to. It makes the game feel so long when it doesn't need to be. It really doesn't need to be. It's so annoying. It's so annoying. It's so frustrating. Seriously, you can't do anything without being interrupted constantly. Every single story beat needs to take forever. The story beats are great. When you finally get to the parts that you actually want to get to, in a couple minutes you're probably going to have to do some bullshit that wasn't in the original. Basically, anything that wasn't in the original is usually pretty bad. I'm talking from the side quests. I mean, they're notoriously not good, but seriously, some of them are not good. I'm someone who likes doing side quests. I don't like skipping content, but oh my god, it was so annoying. I had to give up on them. I was like, nah, I'm sick of this. I actually got sick of it. It was so bad. Some of the side quests are so bad. Granted, there are a few that are alright. You get to fight a behemoth in one. That was really fun. That was it. Probably, to be honest with you, that was really the only memorable one. To get us to a single story beat in the original, say getting Cloud's dress, you just had to talk to this guy, go get the dress, and then you're done. That was pretty much it. In this one, you need to talk to 3 people, then do a whole arena thing, then finally get enough money to get Aerith ready for her dress, and then talk to another guy and do a dance, and finally you get your dress, and then you're done. Don't get me wrong, that wasn't a terrible section, but that was just an example of how long something from the original took compared with the remake. Of course, they had to do this, but really, Square, you didn't have to do this. You didn't have to make it just the Midgar section. Seriously, the Midgar section was fine, but the whole other part of the game was probably the best part. Let's be real. It's honestly the best part. Everything else, the Midgar section was okay, but the rest was amazing. Why can't we just get to the rest? A little speed round of more annoying things. The frog, they turn you into a frog. It's funny until it gets fucking annoying. Seriously, it's so annoying. I can't do anything. You just lose. If everyone's a frog, you basically lose because you can't do any damage or use any abilities. You're basically just a sitting duck, but you're a frog. Haha. Very funny. Switches take ages to pull down. Why? The whole sewer section took forever to complete. Some of the bosses have stupid gimmicks, and they never really tell you how to beat them. You just kind of keep hitting, doing 1 damage. You're like, what the fuck do I do? You just keep hitting them, and then, finally, midway through the boss fight, I finally figured out what to do. It's just not fun. Please, give me a hint. Give me a hint. Please, Square, give me a hint. Healing your teammates takes forever. I only just figured out about the multi-heal button. I mean, why was that hidden? That was like, it was tiny. It's so small. Why? It's just make it easier, please. Some of the people talking can be really annoying, especially when you're midway through the game. Everyone's just talking in your ear. I know you can turn it off, but why was it so intrusive? It just gets really annoying. They could have just toned it down a little bit, so I didn't want to turn it off. That would have been better, I think.
Another day.
All the items.
Hey, what are you doing in there?
Good.
Come on out.
The switches with Tifa and Barrett, that was annoying. That took forever. It was just really annoying. Come on, guys. It was pretty easy in the original, and they just had to make it harder, didn't they? Just more annoying, more frustrating. Okay, and the lights section. When you have to turn off all these lights to reroute the power to an elevator. That took forever. That wasn't even in the original. It was so frustrating. It took forever. For no reason. Why was that even in there? It took so long. I was so sick of seeing the place. Oh my god. Square. Unnecessary. Seriously unnecessary. It was so bad. Probably one of the worst. Doesn't beat the hand thing though. That was the worst part of the game. Now the only reason I'm complaining about all these things is because I don't hear anyone else complaining about them. These are all tedious things, and it makes the game feel super tedious. It happens throughout the game, and you know when you're close to a story beat, you're about to get interrupted and having to do this really boring section just to get to it. All the story beats are great, but why does it take so damn long, and why is it so tedious to get there? It's seriously just, they needed to cut things down. The game could have been 20 hours and just polish. It would have been so good. Why didn't they just do that? It didn't need to be 30 hours. It could have been 20. We just polish. Come on, Square. Now, although I just ranted for 7 minutes, I'm not saying the game is bad. The game is still really, really good. But it does not deserve the amount of praise it's getting. Now, the only video I've seen on it that actually comments on these problems is probably Donkey's video that was just uploaded. I mean, he kind of proves my point exactly. He does it perfectly. But, you know, that's it, unfortunately. the game's still good. If you haven't played the original, it's probably going to be a lot better for you. If you have played the original, it's going to feel really stretched out, really long. But, you know, it's still enjoyable. Nevertheless, I just can't wait for part 2, despite whatever's going on with the story. I'm sure it'll be great. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. It's probably my first and only video that's going to be like this. I just have to comment on the video. Guess if you enjoyed it, I mean, maybe make another one. Probably not though. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Comment, we can have a little discussion if you want. If anyone even gets to see this video. My most famous video is the Monkey Rock. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed and have a good day. See you later. Oh yeah, if I had to give the game a rating, it would be like a 7 or something. 7, 6.5 or something like that. I don't even agree with half ratings, but it would be a 7. That is the score. That is a good score for it. Whatever that is, 3.5 stars out of 5. Yeah. Anyway, see you later.